Hello, everyone. This is Frederick Jones, and I am the founder and publisher of Saturday AM, the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. And this is our pub talk for June 2016. We are just getting going here with our live chat, and we try to do these pub chats once a month. It's just an opportunity for us to talk directly to the fans and provide updates as to all the things going on with Saturday AM and Saturday PM. We have quite a few things to talk about as we head into what they call the corridor, which is kind of like heading into all the various things happening in the world of video games and comic books and pop culture for the week. So if you know, E3 is coming up. This is a big aspect of pop culture. It'll start happening here within the next couple of days. And or actually next day, they start having events starting tomorrow and then Monday. So you've got that happening, and then once you get past that, then we have San Diego Comic-Con, Anime Expo, and just a variety of events happening throughout a good portion of the summer, leading into obviously the big things that will come out around the end of the year. So for us, for a small manga publisher, this is always an interesting time for us because we don't yet have the budget to attend all these various shows. We've been to a few shows already this year, but we certainly don't have the ability to go to all the shows we'd like to go to. So what we end up doing is really using this opportunity to kick off major events that we have and to continue to strengthen our brand and what we do from a publishing standpoint. So from that standpoint, we have quite a few things happening. We're going to talk about those today. Again, this is the Pub Talk for June 2018. I'm Frederick L. Jones, the founder and publisher of Saturday AM. So now, if it's your first time joining us, Saturday AM is, again, the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. You can see here with a glimpse of our website just how much content and how many characters and creators we possess. We have creators literally from Nicaragua to Nigeria, from Nigeria to New Zealand, and really many countries in between. Of course, the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Hungary, Korea, parts of Africa, and just continually grow from there. Obviously, countries all throughout there. So we're really excited and proud of this diversity manga movement that we started back in 2013. Prior to that, there had been kind of side discussions about it, but no one had seriously tried to tackle it. And, we came forth with our magazine, which included, basically having this commitment to have the magazine come out every 2 weeks, which is what we've done since we started. And from that standpoint, it's been really exciting to just, be a part of that aspect. We are now coming up on our 88th issue, which will come out hopefully later today. And as that occurs, we will hopefully have a chance to unveil more aspects from there. So we're going to get to issue 100 by the end of the year. So again, lots of stuff going on. But that is Saturday AM from our biggest series, Apple Black from White Manga, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. Clock Striker, massively multiplayer World of Ghosts, Bully Eater, Saigami, Soul Beat, Hammer, Crunch Time, Better Off Ignorant, Mutton Chop, Spoon, Paradise Down, Titan King, Comet Man, Z Forever, and just a ton more titles. So this is Saturday. If you come to our website, you can check out all the great things that we are currently engaged with. You have a chance to see some of our books that we have. You can advertise within our magazine. And of course, one of the big things that we've unveiled is the debut of Saturday PM, which is our new seinen magazine or adult manga publication. So this features diverse creators from all over the world who are producing more adult content. We're working on video games, animation, all starring our characters. And the key thing about Saturday AM is that our properties are creator owned. So these are all properties coming from creators, maybe like yourselves, if you're watching this, who come from all over the world and they own their property. So we're providing a level of just involvement and professional attitudes regarding what we do coming from all over the world. So again, this is Saturday AM, and our Pub Talk, if you've never seen it, basically is all about us discussing and getting into the general ideas of of discussing what's happening in the world of manga and anime and publishing, all those various aspects that can affect and impact new creators who are working to get into this space. So again, go to our website, www.saturday-am.com, and you can learn more. So with that being said, let's jump right in with some of the news we want to talk about. So again, issue 88 is coming out later today. Now, issue 88 features, or hopefully later today, it most likely be probably tomorrow morning, if not later today. And this is a really great issue. It features content from existing creators that we have, such as Tony Dawkins of Titan King fame, Jay Oden, who's a real superstar for us. He just debuted recently with Hammer. That is continuing on with Hammer, the second arc starting up within this issue. So this is all new content. We ran Hammer the first time. Hammer had existed in a previous capacity on another website, and so we brought it on. We got Jay, when he went exclusive with us, did some enhancements to the story and added some elements to it. But from there, we've been able to create Hammer, and he's been able to take Hammer into a really exciting direction. And we've gotten a huge fan base attached to Hammer who've really taken to what he's been doing. So Hammer is a great series. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you really should. It's really fantastic stuff. And so Hammer is debuting, Volume 2 debuts in issue 88, which again will come out later today. Now, the big thing about this issue is that this issue includes Summer of Manga. Summer of Manga is our attempt to be able to go out and discover and find all new and brand new creators. So this is a really significant deal for us to be able to find new creators. One of the things we started the company that we were really bullish about was the idea that we did not want to be in a position where we were just talking or just looking at the same creators, the same sort of creators. So it was really important for us to have a scenario where we could try to bring diversity into the mix by casting a wide net and producing opportunities for creators to present their content without fear of judgment, without fear of being excluded from opportunities. Just because they maybe come from a different country or they are not Japanese, so to speak. And so this is the second year we've done Summer of Manga. It's the third year that we've done outreach like this and with events like March Madness and Pilot Manga. And so, we're really excited about this. And the basic idea with Summer of Manga is to be able to tease or present creators with the ability to tell original stories. So this is strictly original short stories. This is not, chapter 1 of a 18-volume epic or something like that. This is really trying to take creators who are presenting content for the first time and give them a platform to do so. So we're really excited about Summer of Manga. We have some great titles in this upcoming Summer of Manga 2018. Some great new creators, some great, short stories. In this issue, we have two. One is from Jamie DeJong, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She has a short story called The Vow. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here. Folks, this is how we do it. This is fairly ghetto, but this is how we do it. So I'm having to bring forth all these various screens and stuff and try to interact with all these different aspects of it. But hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know if you can, so I'm going to see if I can pull it up there. No, doesn't look like you can. So let me see if I can get the screen happening here. There we go. Okay. And so this is The Vow by Jamie DeJong, and it is really cool, folks. I think you're going to really, really, really like this. This is not your sort of standard thing. This is interesting. This is different. And so this is, she's from the Netherlands. This is a series that, yes, has some shoujo elements to it, which is perfectly fine with us. And it's got a really clever, really unique sort of story. So great artwork. So this is something that really excites us again with Summer of Manga, because it means we're getting a chance to see creators who are coming from a different place and trying to do unique ideas. And in this particular case, again, we'd love to see more kind of romance comics. We rarely get pitched these sorts of things. So to have a chance to publish something like this and to see what the fan reaction will be is really exciting. The other series will be, or the other short story will be Caitlin Kelly's Eidolon. And unfortunately, I don't have anything to show with it just yet, but it is really interesting. It's got a really kind of action, it kind of reminds me of. I was thinking about this the other day when I was writing the preamble to her short story, but it reminded me in the '80s, the manga boom in the '80s kind of had like some different verbs as opposed to what has exploded from the '90s, like One Piece and Naruto. Back in the '80s, you had things like Bastard and Fist of the North Star, and of course, the original Dragon Ball. But Bastard in particular was kind of like a heavy metal, kind of dark metal sort of fantasy, characters with long hair, this, that, and the other. And I swear, like this, I got such a vibe of Bastard from this. And so Caitlin is she participated in this year's March Art Madness, which is our art competition. It features, over 60 plus creators from all over the world. And she did not advance past the first round, but she had a really interesting piece that excited a lot of people who saw it. And so, from that perspective, I think, really talented, but does excellent character design work. And so I'll be curious to see what people make of her title, because I think that it's really interesting, and I think she's, of course, incredibly talented. So we'll see what she comes up with and what people react to from this. But The Vow and Eidolon are two of the short stories as part of Summer of Manga that we will debut. And that will hit in this issue. So with The Vow, I think one of the key things for us again is, we're going to be doing a couple of things that I want to talk about in this episode. One of the things we're going to be doing, because of just, again, The Vow and how strongly we felt about it, is we decided we are going to go ahead and do live reviews of some of these short stories. We had decided initially not to do it because, one of the things, again, that, we want to try to make sure we do is empower creators to tell their stories and to feel at home doing so. Saturday AM, is for everybody. It's not, we're not a Japanese company. We're not a black company. We're a company for everybody. That's why we have creators from all over the world. But we felt that, again, the fact that, first of all, this is a kind of a romance sort of title, we thought this was really important that we try to make the effort to get it out there. I think when you get past that, there's the aspect as well of trying to be in a position to at least present the material and to be able to provide some real critique to the material that we would hope would give other people who are wishing to present their material a chance to see exactly, what all's involved with it. I think one of the reasons, for example, we don't get pitched titles like The Vow or other titles, slice of life, sports, horror, comedy. I think one of the reasons we don't get pitched more of those is that people see, Apple Black and Clock Striker and Bully Eater, and they build this impression of Saturday AM as strictly one type of content. And again, that goes against the idea of diversity, right? That's not at all what diversity is about. Yes, diversity means, divergent, ethnicities and characters and things like that. But it also means different genres, different storytelling techniques. It means different art styles. And so, again, we just saw The Vow. We were so impressed with it. And we thought, we need to highlight certain titles that come through Summer of Manga and present them publicly so that we can not just educate other creators and give them a bit more of a glimpse as to what the process is, but to make sure that they are empowered by seeing other types of creators to know that they have a chance, they have a voice, they have an opportunity to pursue their dreams in comic books, regardless of whether or not they look like white manga or they draw like, Andrea Voros, that they have a chance to position their stuff to us or to any other publisher that's out there. So we're really excited about that aspect of it. And again, this new series is going to be called Pitch Sessions. It's going to debut exclusively on our YouTube channel. And we will start doing those next Saturday. We haven't quite identified the time yet. It could be 6:30 p.m. at night on Saturday evenings, or it could be a little later. But the idea, of course, is to present these live with some other creators and have a chance to actually discuss critical analysis of pitches that we received, everything from the first pitch that they gave us to the first piece of artwork they submitted to the finished story, and talk about just the process, the evolution of the creator, the things we like about what the creator's doing, things that we thought maybe could have used more work, all those various things. We think it'll be very informative. On our YouTube channel, which has done really well in the last couple of years, even though, again, we don't have the most, we don't have the sexiest setup, as you guys can see. One of the things that has always been interesting to us is that we've done really well on videos where we talk and critique artists' work, whether it's our March Art Madness weekly round reviews that we do, which always do very well for us, even though they're like 2 and 3 hour long videos, or it's the old pilot manga review sessions we used to do, which always, again, would do several hundred views, even though there were 3-4 hour long videos. We've discovered that there's a real appetite and desire for this type of content. So even though it's a lot of work, and even though, again, I would hope that we could have, better technology to present these things, we want to try to continue to empower new creators and diverse creators to be able to tell their stories. So we're going to keep rolling, and but that will certainly be the first thing you guys will be able to check out. That'll happen next Saturday. If you follow us on our social media accounts, or if you subscribe to the magazine, more importantly, you will know when we do this pitch session, episode 1, and it will feature 2 titles from Summer of Manga. So let's talk a little bit more about Summer of Manga real quickly. So Summer of Manga is continuing. We have changed the process a little bit with it because, frankly, we came out of, last year we did Summer of Manga. It came on the heels of March Art Madness. So March Art Madness for us is a massive event. We get our traffic just explodes. We have people from all over the world, countries that probably know of us very little. I'm talking countries like Sweden and Indonesia and places like that, and yet somehow our traffic explodes in those areas because, of course, with March Art Madness, creators are able to come on, and they're able to actually able to come on and participate and compete against each other, drawing really cool fan art. We give away prizes, everything from art books to art supplies to ultimately, for the grand prize winner, a brand new Apple iPad with Apple Pencil. So when you've got that sort of opportunity, it's great as a business to be able to continue to reach people and drive the narrative about how much we care about new creators. But that being said, we went from that event directly into Summer of Manga last year. And it worked out. It worked perfectly. We discovered some amazing creators last year of Summer of Manga. Again, March Madness is just an art competition. Summer of Manga is a short story event. So this is where you actually are incentivized to be a storyteller, not just an artist. So we went through the process with that. And as we went through that process, we didn't have many distractions. This year, we have Saturday PM, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. We have, several new creators who've joined us. We have our video game that we're working on. We had our animation that we debuted, our animation test for Mutton Chop. And then we attended 3 conventions in 3 months. And so, Summer of Manga this year, even though we just got bombarded by the entries for Summer of Manga, I didn't feel as if we were really in control of it the way that I want us to be. So we, began to really kind of analyze and look at that. And even though we've still got plenty of summer left, we decided to kind of retool it a little bit midway through the Summer of Manga event. And so we're going to be, basically, we have a private group. And as we take Summer of Manga submissions or pitches in, we will, if we believe that the creators are presenting something really unique to us, we will admit them into this private group. And that group then allows us to be able to have regular communications with them, more controlled communications with them, and therefore steer them in the way of being able to tell their short story. By the way, it doesn't mean we're going to tell your short story, right? It doesn't mean we're going to publish it because, again, every creator is different, and our rules that we have for what we want to publish, we believe in, and therefore we're pretty strict about them. We're not going to publish someone's, bigoted or kind of, mean-spirited screed, that they claim as art. That's just not who we are. We don't have an interest level in that. I think beyond that as well, again, when you've got Apple Black and Clock Striker and so many other titles we published that are very popular, Hammer, Saigami, we're not interested in retreads of those type of material. We're looking for creators who can deliver something different, a la The Vow. So it's really important for us to, as well, try to really, set the record and set the parameters for the creators to know that we're serious about diversity. We're totally serious about that. And so we want creators to stretch themselves and try new ideas. That's how you grow as a storyteller. And then last but not least is be a storyteller. I think, so often when it comes to web comics or digital comics, the appetite for storytelling really distills down to someone's belief that, well, if they're a writer, well, they can just have a generic idea, but they can't actually write the script because they have to have an artist. And if you're thinking like that, then, as you guys may have heard me say in the past, then you're not a writer. You're not a writer if that's how you think. Writers write. They don't worry about an artist. They don't wait for an artist. Writers write. Artists draw. They don't wait for someone to give them an idea. They draw. And so from that standpoint, I think, for us, it is extremely important that, with Summer of Manga, that we really exercise this belief that, the only way that all of us are going to succeed in this is if we continue to empower and incentivize people to be storytellers. And that means you got to go a little bit deeper than just having an idea. I got Dragon Ball, but it's Dragon Ball, but it's real, which is something we've heard verbatim. My idea is Dragon Ball, but if Dragon Ball were real, and it's like, that's just not, where we want to be. So yeah, I think, we're really excited about the Pitch Sessions channel, TV show, sorry. I got a lot of stuff going on, folks. We're trying to wrap up issue 2088. And so I've got literally 5 different screens up on my screen here. But yeah, we want to try to continue to, educate people on just how you present something and how you go about trying to streamline your idea. And that's why we're going to do the YouTube show, Pitch Sessions. And then likewise, we recognize that we have and had a lot of creators in this cycle for Summer of Manga who are really passionate, and we want to, kind of recognize that passion, but we also want to make sure that they can exercise that passion in a way that is beneficial to them, whether or not we publish their work. And that means that we had to retool Summer of Manga. So as it stands right now, we did a wave 1, and we're starting to publish those works now. We did a wave 2, which we're starting to kind of, go through some of those creators and see who will emerge from that group. And then we're going to do a wave 3. And so we are going to do that. It's going to be very limited. I think we're going to set a count for this, we're just maybe we're going to say we're just looking for 5 titles out of this. So if you want to submit your pitch, we're only going to accept 5. And so that's going to really kind of help narrow the focus a little bit. The key things about this last wave of Summer of Manga is first and foremost, it will be open to Saturday PM, but the age range there will change. So if you are, right now, if Saturday AM, you can be 17 years old and submit a pitch for us for Saturday AM, 17 or older. For Saturday PM, we're requiring that you're 19 or over. And the reason for that, again, just comes down to just trying to, again, try to affect a more mature, look at the sort of stuff that one wants to do in the world of comic books. Meaning that, again, we get requests from people who there's a guy who writes me on Instagram, and he starts every note with "yo," and it's just I don't know what to do with that. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to respond to that. I don't know if he's an alien, he's communicated 95 different things. But in my language, he just says, "Yo." I don't know, but I know I don't know what to do with that. I know that if that's not a good look for someone who is trying to present themselves professionally. So we want to try to change that. And I think the ways that we try to change that are to, especially for Saturday PM, is to raise the age range so that we're getting people who are legitimately trying to tell stories legitimately have a little bit of age on them, so that they have a sense of maturity in terms of what they're telling, and can focus on telling a story. So we'll be unveiling the rules for the Saturday PM portion, but it will include an age range, and it will include some specific genres that we're looking for. And I can almost assure you that you have to be at a very high level as an artist to even make it through, your first pitch, basically. Um, but that will basically be extended to the end of the summer, and we'll publish material within Saturday AM or Saturday PM into October. So we're going to take the summer of manga, and while Saturday AM will pretty much run throughout most of August, and then a little bit in September, and then be done. In the case of Saturday PM, we will take content that will run up until October, and then that will be that. So that's the general idea. That's kind of where we are with Summer of Manga. If you have submitted to us before for Summer of Manga, then yes, the chances are very low that we will reconsider your work, but we certainly will, we'll look at it on a case-by-case basis. There were some artists that we thought were phenomenal that we didn't think that their concept was a good fit for us. And then subsequently, we would have loved to continue working with it, but then subsequently, they kind of acted or behaved in a silly way, and we thought we won't be working with this person. So, it is what it is, but we'll take a look at a case-by-case basis, but we prefer to not look at work that has been done before. So let's see. So that is the Vow and Summer of Manga and all those various things. Now, I do want to chat a little bit about some other stuff we have coming up, and let me see here if I can get to this. Again, folks, like I say, we have a very ghetto setup here, so I completely and utterly apologize for for how some of the stuff looks. I know it doesn't look great, but I do want to talk real quickly about Saturday PM. So let's see here if we can get to Saturday PM. Evidently not. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So now, if you guys have not checked out Saturday PM, we have with Saturday PM, we have this is an adult version of Saturday AM. So this does have nudity. This does have violence. This is not meant to be pornographic content. We certainly are not interested in that. This is not meant to be uber graphic violence, even though this does have some pretty violent imagery. I think the key thing for us with Saturday PM, and the way I've described it to people externally, is that we want to have Saturday PM exist kind of in the same space that HBO exists, meaning that this is content that has the license to tell stories that can go places that might be a bit darker than what you would expect to see on TV, but at the same time, it's in service of a story that is good and not in service of a story that's just meant to titillate. In fact, one of my phrases is that if when I say titillate, if that alone makes you laugh or giggle, Saturday PM is not for you. So Saturday PM right now we have a couple of series that we're really proud of in it. What you're looking at right here is called Quick Draw, and this is a really great series. This is from the second issue of Saturday PM, which we'll talk about in a minute. This features story and art by Kai Link. He is an Australian creator, and this series is I think it's going to be one of our dark horses, because the general idea here is that it's kind of like Bakuman. If everybody remembers Bakuman, it's kind of like Bakuman, except it's about an artist who really, really likes drawing hentai. He wants to get into comic books. He wants to make his friends and family proud, but he's probably going to end up doing hentai. And so it's kind of about the struggles of that. And I just thought it was, when Kai first told me some of the pieces of it, I thought it was so brilliant and so cool. And by him not being, by him being, from Australia, it means he has a different take on this material. And so we can talk about it in ways that I think will be very universal. I think, sometimes, one of the challenges with manga, traditional manga from Japan, is that, that there are a lot of quirks to Japanese culture and society. Not all, but some. And it's really hard to try to translate those for other audiences, mainstream audiences. Even though the concepts are brilliant, it's really hard to kind of, make some of the pieces really work. And so, from that standpoint, we really love the series. I think a lot of people are going to like the series. And so, again, this will appear in issue 2 of Saturday PM. Also, at Saturday PM, we have Dark Web by Jack Sherwin, who's out of the UK. This is a series that when Jack and I first started talking about it, we're putting Saturday PM together, I had no idea that we would be living in the world of Russia and Cambridge Analytica and Facebook data mining and all these various things. We just were thinking more along the lines of things that are on the dark web, that you could find, like pornography and violent imagery and ISIS and various things like that. But once you got to this point, and we now are getting into areas where the not dark internet could be used for some really nefarious things. We just realized that we had a potential real hit on our hands. So Dark Web is a great series. It's presented in full color, kind of like Hammer. It's presented in full color on Saturday AM. And so this is a title as well that I think is a real dark horse title for Saturday PM. We have Yellow Stringer by Jeffrey Jean-Louis. This is an artist, folks, that you guys can be talking about in a couple of years. So Saturday AM has been really fortunate. We've discovered a lot of amazing young creators. Dan Tularchevek of Crunch Time, and in this case, Jeffrey Jean-Louis of Yellow Stringer. But if you love works like Detective Conan, you're gonna like, or even Supernatural, the TV show from CW, you're gonna like Yellow Stringer, and it's a really cool series, great artwork, and so I think people are gonna really dig into this. It's taken a little while for it to get going, and again, this is one of the things when you're talking about creator-owned material from in many cases first-time creators, but where it's going and how great this artist is, I think it's gonna be a title that people are gonna fall in love with, especially the main character Naomi. She's just as cute as she can be. And then of course we have a series coming out in issue 3, which will be next month, called Yasuke Black Samurai. This is by Robert Burns, and it is based off of a real Japanese concept, kind of like folklore, about an African, an actual African who became a samurai. We kind of take that story and go into some different areas with it. So really cool series. I think you folks really enjoy it. But this is going to appear in issue 3. But in issue 2, which comes out later today, there are 2 big things. Obviously, Quick Draw, Yellow Stringer, Dark Web are there. But the big thing is that we've got White Manga, the creator of Apple Black, is back, and he's back with a series called Bakassi. And so now, if you guys have not heard of Bakassi yet, trust me, it's huge. Bakassi is this is a title that I've been waiting for White to do for some time. I've been really waiting for White to do this for some time, because it is extraordinary. It's White, if you guys know, his real name is Adunze Agogwo, and he is from Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful and rich country full of great traditions and aspects. And so the fact that we've got White Manga delivering for us a series that will play upon his African and Nigerian roots, but also have some fantastical elements to it, is so exciting. This is a mature series, so it's got some interesting elements to it as well. But we are really excited about this series, and I can't speak highly about it enough. It debuts. It's on the cover, and it debuts in issue number 2 of Saturday PM, which will be out again throughout this weekend. So we think it should come out, if not later tonight, then it'll come out sometime Sunday, if not first thing Monday morning. And I mean first thing Monday morning, but this is just going to be huge for us. I mean, Apple Black is one of our biggest series, of course, Saturday AM. The fact that the creator of Apple Black has another exclusive series with us called Bakassi for Saturday PM is going to make a lot of people tune in to Saturday PM. So we're really excited about this. I've read the story. It's great. I think you guys are going to love it. And so this is going to be hitting again this weekend, and it'll run in the next 2 issues, and then it'll take a bit of a hiatus, and then it'll come back. So we're really excited about that. White's going to be doing both. Apple Black and Picasso. I don't know how he's going to be doing it, but he's doing both. So really stoked about that. And then the last thing, of course, that I want to showcase you guys before I take some questions is we have in every issue Saturday PM we do cosplay. We profile cosplay creators, and so we are going to be focused on the introduction for this issue of a beautiful, intelligent cosplayer named Lady Nikoru. I don't know if you guys have heard of her, but she is absolutely gorgeous, and she is really smart and really cool young lady. And so we were really impressed and proud to have her in the issue. Last issue, the first issue, we had Lorna Ciani from Italy. She's actually Italian and Swedish, and she is incredibly beautiful. She does some fantastic cosplay. Lady Nikoru does a various diversity of cosplays. Here she's starring as Widowmaker, but we've seen her do characters from My Hero Academia. We've seen her do Tifa from Final Fantasy and a few others. So you can tune into this issue, check this issue out if you're a subscriber. You'll get to see her in some great cosplay outfit. You'll get to see her in some sexy modeling poses as well. And you'll get to see her answer some amazing in-depth questions that really get to the heart of what it's like to be a cosplayer, what she intends to do with her burgeoning career. Folks, this girl is smart. She's, this is not someone who's relying on her good looks. This young woman is really smart. So we are so incredibly proud to try to bring a focus to Saturday PM in the cosplay sector. Saturday AM right now profiles fantastic creators. We do an Instagram discovery. We do, things where our folks talk. They do a section called My Fave. So we've long done articles on, creators and industry people. We've got some big interviews coming up as well. So we've long done this in Saturday AM. Saturday PM is continuing this. We have interviews in this issue with Brian Wood. He's a very famous comic book creator. He does some work for Dark Horse. He does some work for Image. So we have an interview with him in issue 2 of Saturday PM, as well as cosplay. We have an ongoing cosplay feature. The next cosplay model, I can't reveal who it is, but she's also very awesome. So we're just really, really proud and excited to be in a position to present just some amazing content for Saturday PM. So again, if you are not subscribed to Saturday AM, you should be. It's really quite simple, folks. Saturday AM, if you want to subscribe to us, it's easy to do. You can go to www.saturday-am.com. And of course, when you get there, you will find all sorts of cool stuff that you can subscribe to, including Saturday AM magazine on its own, which is just $5 a year. Or you can go to subscribe to the premium subscription, which will enable you to actually get content from Saturday AM and Saturday PM. So again, we have a lot of stuff coming, folks. Again, we've got a video game coming. We'll be talking about that. We've got some other stuff I can't reveal. That's going to be happening towards the end of the year that are going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to be yet another area that we're kind of charging forward in ways that a lot of other creators haven't done, or a lot of other companies haven't done. We're really excited about where we're going in this new era. And then we're going to be dropping, we're going to be going to some more conventions, other parts of the country and here in the United States, and hopefully other parts of the world. We got some opportunities in some other areas that we may pursue soon. But again, if you want to support us, you can buy the issues individually, or you can subscribe. And subscribing, again, $5 a year gets you Saturday AM, up to 20 issues a year of Saturday AM, folks. That's the best deal in comics. It's the price of a latte. That's the price of a of a Happy Meal at McDonald's. Otherwise, you can get with us and do the premium subscription, which gets you everything. It gets you Saturday AM, it gets you Saturday PM, it gets you exclusive contests, it gets you all sorts of fun stuff, as well as some things where if you're at the trade shows with us, like Wizard World or Comic-Con or Anime NYC, there's some stuff you get to do there exclusively with us, including getting discounts on things that we sell at the shows, exclusive things we sell at the shows. You get a chance to get first look at those. So that is pretty much pub talk for this month. I'll talk real quickly about just some general news that's happening, but I know we got some questions that have lined up. I see that, of course, as always, we have like the little posse that loves to follow us and then downvotes. I noticed that we got 2 downvotes before the episode even started. We had 2 downvotes, and that is before the episode, like as soon as we got started, which is just the definition of assholery. And of course, those people will never reveal who they are. So I think that's pretty funny. Anyways, yeah. So let's get to some of these questions, and again, I'll be happy to answer anything you got. So Serpico Lee says no one's commenting, and yeah, they weren't commenting initially. Serpico, yeah, it did go for like 25 minutes. No one commented, but I guess those 2 jackasses were trying to downvote us. Tata Spokava says, so it seems. Silva Law says co.me or com or whatever. John Mendoza says, hi Fred, how are you? I'm doing good, John. John Mendoza says, can we do a card game manga? John, you can, but John, you've submitted like several manga to us, and we've rejected all of them. So I think at this point you've already got some stuff you're trying to do, dude. Didn't you say you're trying to do some stuff with some of the other sites and stuff? I think you should just go for that, dude. Again, folks, this is one of the things, and I'm not putting John on blast here, but this is one of the things that we see so frequently, and I do have to use this opportunity to kind of call out some of these aspects with folks. You got to just shoot for the stuff. Again, just like these people who probably, which I'm pretty sure like one of those guys probably downvoted us, is one of these cats that submitted the Summer of Manga, and we did not like his work, and he seemed to have an issue with it. But folks, we're just we're one pebble in the sea, and God knows there are some much bigger rocks than us. And so if you're looking to try to land on something, then go land on something. You don't need us, and I can assure you that we're not here to try to destroy anyone's dreams. We're not here, one of the things I tell my guys all the time is that, because, most of my guys don't have, any experience, they're all young. I'm 23 years older than most of the people in our Saturday AM. And look, the thing that's always so fascinating about this is that, and I try to tell my guys, is that if they've never knew what marketing was, then look at some of the comments we get from people who are desperate to work with us, and then again downvote us or go out of their way to try to attack us, because it's like, that's how marketing works. These are folks that we don't know. These are folks that we've not spoken to directly. If we have, it's been very limited, and yet they're so enthralled with us. They're so fascinated by us that they will go out of their way to try to make us look bad or make us feel bad, even though, we're not doing the same to them. We don't know who they are in most cases. That's marketing. That is marketing. That someone can feel that passionately about you that they want to, no, you got to get, look, I know I've tried several times to get you to check out my work, but can I submit something else? It's like, at some point you've got to pursue your dreams, and you can't worry about other people. And so I think, from that standpoint, again, when I try to have these real talk sessions, I'm not trying to knock anybody down. Again, I'm much older than a lot of the folks who tune into these podcasts, or these YouTube videos, but I'm not trying to knock anyone down. To me, again, I know how tenuous this stuff is, meaning that, life is very ephemeral. We get to be my age, you start seeing people dying of heart attacks and dying of various things, and you're just like, damn, that happened fast. It was just feel like a few years ago that I was hanging out with that person. So I think, from that standpoint, again, we have to kind of just try to shoot into these things and figure out how to work, collectively to improve the situation for everybody. That's what we're trying to do, is improve things for everybody. So, if Saturday AM succeeds, then everybody succeeds, right? Because you don't have to be a part of Saturday AM to benefit from the fact that companies, video game companies, animation studios, people who make coloring books would be looking at the properties that you create more seriously, even if you're not part of Marvel, DC, Image, IDW, Boom, yada, yada. If Saturday AM succeeds, because we're independent as hell, so if we succeed, then there's a chance for everybody to succeed. And so that's why, again, some of these kind of like, haters and so forth, I find it to be quite sad. And then some of the folks who are just continue to try to get with us when you've got other places you can try to go to, I want to always try to empower you. Like, you're empowered, go do this stuff. Because again, if you were my age, if any of you were my age, you would know that when I was your ages, we didn't have these opportunities. The internet was not what it is today. You didn't have a gazillion websites where you could upload your content and be seen potentially by millions of people. You didn't have those things. It was a lot of work from start to finish for very little reward. And so that you guys have that opportunity now, it's just so important that folks try to take that stuff and run with it. You know, if all you get from us is just an education on how to submit your material better, I don't care if you say, man, screw Saturday AM, I'm going to go take my idea to Marvel, but you use what we teach you, some of the techniques we teach you. That's great. That's great. I can promise you that the folks at Marvel, the folks at DC, and so forth, that they will be as appreciative that you're coming to them in a way that fits what they're trying to do as we would be for you if you were doing it to us. So again, to me, like, this is what makes Saturday AM unique, is that, we do care, despite, and again, we've got people who try to compete with us and so forth. And I call them so-called competitors because, again, none of them have lasted this long. None of them, and look, I just call it like I see it. But, when we started Saturday AM, we got shit from everybody for being diverse. Remember, diversity is getting attacked today by people who are anti-Star Wars and all this shit. But I got to tell you, folks, they were hardcore about that when we got started. We had people saying, who the hell do you think you are? We had black people saying us, y'all are black, but your characters aren't all black. Man, what, y'all hate yourselves? We got it from everybody. So yeah, if I want to, as someone who has lived this life, who helped start this movement, if I want to take a bit of an issue with people who kind of conveniently leave us out of the conversation and say that I consider them so-called competitors because they've not lasted to 80-some issues, they've not taken the slings and arrows that we took, that they literally got the ideas for some of the stuff they're doing because we did it first, but they don't want to give us credit. If I want to call them so-called competitors, I think I fucking earned that. I think I have earned that. And for someone who's not accomplished those things to take issue with that, I think is embarrassing for them. So, again, this is all just a 40-some-year-old man trying to drop some knowledge. What you do with it is your call. But don't show yourself. Don't play yourself by trying to come at us. And don't play yourself when you've got the opportunity. You've got the opportunity to take knowledge that we are freely given. Other people don't do this. There are people right now I can name who are very successful, Kickstarter, various things, who would charge you for the stuff I'm saying. They say, oh, yeah, well, you can take my class on so-and-so, and I teach you all about how to pitch comic books. We don't do that. We just keep it real. So don't get offended when we keep it real. And sometimes, it's real talk that you're not used to. Take the information and run with it. Take the information and do some stuff with it. So let's see here. So yeah, if we have looked at your stuff before and said no, and you said you're going to pitch it on another series, then put it on another platform. Then put it on another platform. No one's stopping you with that. Go do it. Learn what it's like to have to do something week in, week out. Again, like I said before, I call people out about being competitors to us because 88 issues, 4 years, about to hit issue 100. You can't begin to imagine. Those folks can. The people who call themselves competitors with us, they know what it's like because they don't do it. They try to do it. They try to do monthly magazines and they couldn't do it because it ain't easy. And we did it for this long. I think we deserve a bit more respect than that. Listen to what we're telling you, folks. Let's see here. Modismo says, are there any Saturday AM programs that accept scripts? No, Modismo, but please don't lose hope. I'm a writer myself. I write many of our articles. I've written some of our best-selling comics. I am absolutely determined to get a program in place for writers. I am absolutely determined to do that. It's difficult. It's difficult. It is so hard to get the proper things set up to make that happen. First of all, because writing is different than art. Writing has no visual aesthetic, has no visual kind of stamp to it. And when you don't have a stamp to it, then it makes it very hard to make sure that we are working with someone who legitimately did the work. This is something that we actually take a great deal of pride on with Summer of Manga and March Art Madness, that we do not, at least to date, we don't think we have, we've certainly not been told we have, empowered, promoted, supported an individual who has stolen art from someone else. Now we've cut ties with people who stole character designs, or stole concepts, meaning that the comic book, the thing that they pitched to us was literally a comic book idea from another series. We've dealt with people like that a lot, and we've taken them out every single time. We've been like, oh, we found out who you are, you're out. But we've never dealt with people who have just continually exploited someone else. And writing as a medium is very hard to be able to put that balance together. It really is. I'm not, I wish I could tell you something different, but I can't. It's just that hard, So we're hoping to deal with that. But for now, at least, that's kind of where we are. That's kind of what we're looking at and what we got to deal with for now. But we hope to, at some point, unveil a light novel line and unveil a program strictly for writers. One thing I'll say again, real quickly to that, Modus Mo, is that, because again, I love the question and I love the fact that there are people out there who want to write. But let me say again, though, as I said earlier, if you are trying to come at us, however, you want to submit scripts because you want us to find you an artist, then probably the answer to that's going to be no. I think, again, we've kind of hit the gamut of people who, it's kind of like, again, it's like submitting to us Dragon Ball ideas. Like, this is Dragon Ball, but it's real. Like that, I consider people who want to submit scripts, but they're not actual writers. Like, in other words, like they're like, here's a script, but I got to have an artist. We had a guy who's one of our, again, so-called competitors who was desperate to get with Saturday AM. He tried to hit all our creators up. He was able to annoy a few of them to where they basically gave up comics altogether. In one case, he was able to get that person to go to this other company. But this is someone who he's like a sponge, man. He's like a barnacle. He just would cling on to whatever artist he could, because the notion of him just writing and trying to make a career, even though this is a tried and true profession of just being a writer, the notion of him just writing was just not there. Like he had to be a writer that had artists drawing his work, and more power to him. He's somehow finagled a way into doing it, but that's just not, for us, that's not something that we want to empower. We want to empower writers who are actual writers, and not empower writers who are basically our idea people looking for an artist to give validation to them. This is the internet. It's different from when I was a kid. You guys have, websites where you can do articles, you have blog posts, you got Facebook, Twitter, all these places where you can create lots of written copy and gain fan bases with that. To not be doing that because you need an artist is I think is a difficult place to be. Adon Reynosa says hello. Hello, Adon. Angel Lewis says, when did this start? It started at I think roughly 12:40 or so, about an hour ago. Let's see. Kiara Reddy and Naraya says, hello, everybody. Hello. Savion Abraham says, can we know about some submissions from Second Wave, or are you guys still looking through them? So, Savion, I talked about this earlier. We're still looking through them. We did contact a few people, though, so I can say this, Savion. We're still looking. We've not made any permanent decisions on people that we're going to publish. I don't know if any of them were I think maybe 2 out of 30 were standouts. And of the 30 that we got for Wave 2, we got far more in Wave 1, but of the 30 we got for Wave 2, I think maybe we took in, we created a private group, Savion. We created a private group, and if people had stuff that we thought had potential, we put them in this private group. So if you got an email from us, Savion, you have to double check. It would be from publisher@saturday-am.com. If you got an email from us, check your spam, things like that. Then there's a link to the private group. You go to join the private group. You request to join it at least, and then we'll kind of discuss the next steps with Second Wave. If you did not, then you're not, and we'll talk more about that. We have a new video series on our YouTube channel called Pitch Sessions, so we'll be discussing more aspects of that when we go forward. But yeah, as of right now, at least, that's kind of where we are. Tadas Boykabas, man, I know I'm butchering these names. I so apologize for that. Says he just subscribed to Saturday AM Premium like a week or so ago. Awesome, Tadas. Well, you're going to get Saturday AM issue number 88, hopefully later today. If not, then tomorrow morning. You get Saturday PM issue number 2 later tomorrow night, if not first thing tomorrow morning, and then or Monday morning. And then we got some other great things coming your way soon. So stay tuned, man. Angel Lewis says Gumroad says something about a supercharge. Can you further explain? I cannot, Angel Lewis. This is the first I've heard of that. So Angel, send me a note, send me an email with the email you got from them at info@saturday-am.com. Send me that email or whatever you got from them so I can look at that. I have not heard about that. But if they're trying to do something that goes against what we've put forth, then we're working on some alternatives. But please contact me with that. Vicenia Design says people need to learn how to take constructive criticism. Let's see here. People need to learn how to take constructive criticism. You can have all the talent in the world, let their attitude hold them back. Agreed. If you don't want to hear what Fred has to say, then go start your own thing. Totally agree. Totally agree, Vicenia. Exactly. And of course, again, you know, there's another piece of that we see time and time again. In fact, again, some of these so-called competitors, what they did was they actually, and I think this same person who did the downvote, who we didn't like their summer manga entry, I think that what they do, you know, is that they try to then. So what happens? And I guess it's a very human thing, but it's also very trifling, you know. If you're a parent, you know, you know what this is. You know, if you're a parent, you know exactly what this is. But it's like then you know, it's like so you didn't get what you wanted, or you got in your mind embarrassed, or your ego couldn't handle, or whatever. So then what you then try to do is you then try to then build a unity. You try to build like a little group that can support you. A group and I'm not talking about support like, oh, it's okay, you'll be okay, and we got your back. But a group is like, okay, look, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to we're gonna start our own thing. We're gonna try to pick off people, you know, within this group or people from Saturday and we can try to pull to our side, and then we're going to try to create our own thing. And you know, I think the part about that for me is just embarrassing for those people is that, first of all, again, we're 4.5 years about to hit our 5-year anniversary. We got a video game, animation, all these various things happening. You know, we didn't, you know, I mean, like we've had this happen, you know, enough times to where folks, we're still here. So, you know, I mean, whatever lessons someone thinks they're going to teach us, especially if you're 20 years younger than me, then we're still here. That has to be embarrassing to put that much effort in. You know, again, look, I'm African American. I speak out regularly about racism. And the thing that I think when you're an intelligent African American, when you're an African American who, you know, is trying to achieve things, I think, you know, the thing that we always talk about in my circles, at least, is we talk about how with racism you have to work hard. At racism, you have to work like hell to disenfranchise enterprising, intelligent, hardworking, focused people of color. The work you have to go through to demoralize us, to stop us, is extraordinary. You'd be better off, you know, doing anything else, because the work you have to, the people you have to get on your side to try to disenfranchise us is extraordinary. What you gonna do? Never go into a McDonald's? You gonna never go into a Chick-fil-A? You gonna never, you know, shop at a store? You gonna never listen to hip hop music? Like, what can you possibly do to try to disenfranchise people of color? It happens because of course we see it. We see it all the day. People of color getting shot and abused, and I can speak personally that, you know, they have a tough, you know, we're typically the last hired, first fired in corporate America. I know. But you have to work overtime to do it. So when I see people trying to attack Saturday AM and trying to we have lasted 4 years. We've seen it all. We've seen giant companies try and fail. We've seen obviously the small fry, the small independent creator who, you know, just got a bug up their butt because, you know, we said something they didn't like and determined they're going to stop us. We're here. We've been here. We fight every day to be here. Making a bi-weekly magazine, and to get to this place when the average people online, we're not talking about physical comic books, we're talking online, meaning that it is far easier than it was when I was a kid. And you still can't get a monthly magazine out, a quarterly magazine out. We've seen it all, and we're still here. So yes, 100% right, Vicenia. You know, if you can't take criticism, then you're a damn fool. If you can't take criticism from us, given what you've seen us do, then you definitely got a problem. But more importantly, if you don't like it, don't hop on our YouTube. Don't follow us on YouTube and then wait for us to say something, and then wait for us to start a video so you can just, let me give a quick downvote. I don't know what you think that's doing. That's not stopping us. I was looking at White the other day. White's got 170,000 followers, White Manga, and every time he does a video, he's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13 downvotes. Tens of thousands of views, but a downvote. 2 or 3 downvotes. 10 or 15 downvotes. That ain't stopping White. That's not stopping White. He's still got more fans than he did when I first met him. You'd be better off doing your own thing, focusing on your own efforts. Because, folks, it is hard to do this stuff. Comic books is a lonely, lonely business. So if you're that wrapped up in someone else's stuff, then you got serious problems. Let's see here. Angel Lewis says, is there any news on series that have been on hiatus, such as Islanders, Neo World, Clock Striker? Yeah, so we've addressed these many times, Angel, but I'd be happy to address them now. Islanders is on hiatus. Leo Massip is no longer in comics as far as we know. So we hope that changes. We've had some feels that may change at some point, but as of right now, nothing we can say. Neo World Zodiac, the creator of that is Sabrina Bonawyn, someone that I'm a huge fan of, and I love the concept for a series. That one, just didn't quite click. She, the story, she wasn't able to get the content in regularly, and the story kind of meandered a little bit. But we still love the character of Nuo. We love, overweight Asian female character. Like, again, I'll sign up for that any day of the week. Give me more body diversity, give me more character diversity, not just some generic Asian character, but like a really full-blooded Asian character. Love the idea of it, but she's not doing the series anymore. She decided to stop and focus on some other stuff, and we respect that decision. Clock Striker is fully in production. Literally, I've got the pages I was looking at the other day. It's going to come out a little bit later this summer, just like Apple Black. What we want to do, same thing with Mass Multiplayer with the Ghost. We want to. Again, we've lasted. A lot of people don't. A lot of webcomics. If you go to any webcomic site, and the vast majority of webcomics that are on that site, the vast majority didn't even complete 2 or 3 chapters, much less a volume 1. So we've got well over 120 pages of Clock Striker. We're wrapping up some additional pages for Clock Striker so we can complete the volume 1. And we just wanted to have everything done early so when we start publishing it, we've got plenty of content. We can just run it back to back to back. So again, come up, so I can't say it's going to be perfect, but that's what we certainly hope for. So that is that. But we talked about it before, so hopefully that answers your question. Mika Judah says one day or two. I hope so, Mika Judah. Let's see. Visenia says, have you had the chance to work with Victor Danridge? I saw on your Twitter you may have met him. That name sounds familiar. I do not have an answer for you. That name sounds real familiar, but I can't say, Visenia, that I know who that is. I don't know. Let's see. Alex McGee Gameplay says, I have an idea, but I don't think you'll like it. Well, Alex, don't worry about whether or not you think I'll like it, unless it's something crazy. Now, if you're talking about you got an idea that involves something negative about people or is prejudiced in some way, then yeah, probably bigoted in some way, probably won't like that. But if you've got an idea, it's just a different concept. It's again, Summer of Manga is for everybody. As long as you fit the age range, and as long as you are sticking to what we're asking for from the submission guidelines, then you can submit to it. So again, we will post more information about Summer of Manga soon. It's not going to happen right now. It won't happen today, but we'll post additional Summer of Manga news for people who are wanting to present ideas to us via Summer of Manga. We will present those within the next week or so, so please be patient. Visenia Design says, that's not how you pitch something. Grimheim, who I think is on they're on our Summer of Manga. They've got a really cool series of short story I'm looking forward to. Says they've been surrounded by writers every day. In college, I'd never heard one of them saying they would need to have an artist to tell their story. Yeah, but believe it or not, I've heard that. Trust me, I've heard that a million times. So let's see. They also love to write everything from short stories to articles to poetry. So I don't get the I need an artist to pick my story argument. I don't either. Like I said before, you got blog posts, you got websites. Folks, right now, there are people, just think about this for a second, for a lot of you guys who are young. Right now, there are people going to E3 who do not make video games, probably don't even fucking play video games, but they do write about video games for some website, some company, and they had a chance to go. Same thing will happen, during Anime Expo. Same thing will happen during San Diego Comic-Con. There are some people who are getting it. I got to see some movies that I damn sure wouldn't have paid for, but were big movies because, or at least I would have paid for them in the movie theater. I would have waited until they came on Apple Movies. But because we have, a big website and we have articles and I've written movie reviews, and they were like, hey, would you like to come to this movie and give a review about it? I was like, well, yes, I would. So, it is mind blowing to me that there are writers out there who are so stuck on being the next J.K. Rowling. I mean, I'm sorry, they're not even stuck on being the next J.K. Rowling. They're stuck on being the next white manga who is an artist writer. But they're so busy trying to tell stories. Like I said, like this young man who has, chased out. I mean, I think Leo Massive got chased out by this young man that I was talking about earlier. So I don't know. But yeah, I find it extraordinary. There's so many opportunities to write nowadays. It's just extraordinary. Alex McGee says, I don't mean I have no confidence. I mean, it's either too familiar or it lacks focus at the moment. My story technically has no villains or anything. I think the key thing here is to, focus on just trying to tell your story. I mean, I'll say this again, like I was saying to John Mendoza earlier, folks, do a webcomic or get on fanfiction.net. I mean, produce comics. Stop worrying about Saturday AM. So like, again, I'm not saying it's to pick on Alex. I'm not saying it's to pick on John, but like, it's extraordinary to me that people continue to waste their time talking about stuff that, that they've either been told no to, or or they're saying, well, it's very unfocused right now. You know what will make it focused is to just do it. So go out to one of these websites that's not going to, hold you to any sort of standards like Saturday AM will or Saturday PM will. And instead, fanfiction.net, look, just write out the thing, upload it, and let people bash it. Let people read it. Let people see it. And you know what? You'll get plenty of experience just from doing that. In the case of John Mendoza, or anyone like John Mendoza, if you've got a comic book that you want to tell and we've said no to it or we're not interested in it, then just do it. Do it on any one of these webcomic websites. Upload it. Maybe do a page a week or do 5 pages a week or 3 pages, whatever you want to do. But just do it. So you're going to say to yourself, I'm going to tell a 20-page story. Once you do that, not only will you become a better artist, you still might not be the world's best artist or what have you, but you'll become a better artist. You'll have learned more about deadlines. You'll learn more about storytelling. You'll learn more about laying out a page. So just do it. Stop making excuses as to why you don't do it. And yes, I mean, to Yesenia's point, that's not going to help you when you're describing it to a company. Now, obviously, we care. But most companies don't. And I'm not saying that to impugn other companies. It's just that they're big companies. They got other stuff. They got, Marvel's got God knows how many video games coming out featuring their characters. They got editorial staff that we can only dream about who are working on all sorts of stuff. They got cartoons. Various cartoons, not just one, but various cartoons. They got movies. Marvel, ain't got time to and have someone talk to them for 15 minutes talking about, yeah, I got a comic idea that I think Marvel would like, but I don't know. I think you guys wouldn't like this. I'm focused. They're gonna be like, look, I got stuff to do. Move on. I got stuff to do. So stop doing that to yourself. Go out and produce the content, folks. Nothing is stopping you, and you will only gain experience doing it. Only, I promise you. Tadas Boysavas, damn it, Tadas, I know I'm butchering your name, homie. I'm so sorry. But he says something similar. He says, he and a buddy were working on a comic idea, and they spent so long on pre-production and writing and brainstorming, like, damn. And look, I've never understood that either. I just don't understand that. I mean, obviously we've dealt with creators who are like that, so I'm certainly not condemning it, but I've never understood it, that a story takes you months, years to write. Because folks, look, I'm 40-some years old. I live in the real world, and a lot of you guys, unfortunately, don't, meaning that you're not paying bills, you don't got various, you don't owe money for things. So when you sitting there going through the stuff I go through, and a lot of people my age go through, I can tell you right now that you've got the time to waste trying to perfect an idea that you're not selling. And I mean not selling, like, this Tadas, unless they're going to produce a physical comic book and go through the work of getting it into Diamond and getting it to American comic book stores or getting it to European comic, wherever they're based out of, unless you're doing that, you're just trying to create a comic book you can then upload for free onto one of these websites. I am at a complete loss as to how you can spend months doing that. I don't have months to make no money. And even if you're not going to make money doing this, I have no months to waste my time like that. Come up with an idea, streamline it, spend maybe a week or two working on it, and then just get it out there. Because I promise you, you will learn more as a creator by just getting work out there and doing it consistently than you will trying to brainstorm something that you do not have the power, the clout, or the opportunity to determine whether or not this is going to be seen by lots of people. Like, that's not your call. You don't know that. So just get it out. Mika Judah says, is the only argument valid if the writer wants their story to be told with sequential art? Isn't the argument only valid if the writer wants the story to be told with sequential art? Look, it's not a question if the argument's not valid. Again, if a writer wants to work with an artist, then there's nothing wrong about that. But I'll say again, though, but just like we just said to Tadas here, if you're, how long is it going to take you to find it? Because look, here's the bottom line, folks. If you're a writer and you want to work with an artist, then pay the artist. Here's the dirty secret. The vast majority of those writers aren't paying the artists. End of story. They want to find an artist desperately because they got a great idea. Man, my idea is so great. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be next, that. And most of these guys have never told a story before. They have nothing to hang their hat on. And so the artist is just supposed to trust them that they're gonna be, doing this work for someone who's just gonna make them a superstar. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous because again, if you've not accomplished anything, Saturday M's got a brand to it. If you have not done any of that and you're just yapping at the mouth, talking about you want to work with an artist, there's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't inspire confidence, that's for sure. But now if you're talking about I'm a writer, don't tell me I'm not a writer, but I want to work with an artist, I want to work with a good artist. Well, then pay him, and then no one's going to question you. And then the problem that you got is that capitalism doesn't care who you are. Capitalism doesn't care what you think. So capitalism then is going to say, okay, well then let's now judge with how many people actually like this work to see whether or not this person was as good as he said he was. And chances are they might not. Let's see here. Let's see. Try to Epic says sup. What's up to you, Try to Epic? Let's see. Angel Lou says Disneyland was hiring in Cali and their radio commercial closed by saying cultivating creation through diversity. Will Disney be scrutinized like Saturday AM? Nope. Oh, hell no. No. And like I said, we were doing this before Black Panther came out. We were talking about having black characters in manga, and people, we had people, just taking us down. We had, look, and as I've said before, I said it in the last podcast I did. We had folks who were, who didn't even give us, even though we've been around for 4.5 years, people who still want to write articles about us for their websites, because, they just, they're not real manga, but they'll profile someone else because they might be connected to, some big organization. They want to have the SEO value in that. But, they wouldn't give us, they haven't given us that sort of opportunity. So, yeah, we got scrutinized quite a bit. And you damn well better believe that when Black Panther came out, now all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, see, yep, we knew diversity was big, but we've been talking this for a long time. So, our day will come, and, I'm sure I'll see those people who've been disingenuous. So let's see here. So Victor Danridge from Yesenia says, got me into indie comics and got me my first booth. He's the guy that does about everything for Wizard. Oh, is that the guy that does the paper? He does doesn't he have like paper he does? Yeah. I do remember him now. Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, I was getting ready to pull it up. Whoops. Made a mistake there, folks. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, I do remember him. Yeah, so he I think that's the same guy. Yeah, I do recall him, and yeah, he was a very nice guy. And we haven't chatted. We're supposed to follow up after the show, but I'm sure we will at some point. Bushan Manga says, hello, Frederick. Nice to see regular Saturday M blogs and regular posts to keep up with. Thank you, Bushan. We're trying to do a better job of just, making sure that people know what's going on with us and that we're communicating more and more stuff. And so thank you very much for that. Again, that's, like I said, that's the thing I think so many people just don't respect and appreciate, especially a lot of young people, is that, if you're going to start Saturday M, you're going to start a Saturday M competitor and stuff, folks. Not only do you have to do the magazine regularly, not only do you have to do content regularly, not only do you have to have some, great creators who, are committed to the mission, Not only do you have to, strive to make video games and graphic novels and all the stuff that we've done, but you've got to, I'm sorry, not only do you have to do great design, our magazines have great design, interior design and stuff. That's something that, again, we have people trying to steal our designers, but you've got to be consistent in terms of running the business, which means marketing. It means consistently talking about what you guys are working on with your blog posts, various social media posts. You've got to be consistent and diligent in this. Some of our creators, I think, still kind of struggle with this concept, but yeah, it's really important that you do that. And again, we've kind of gone up and down with it. We don't have a massive staff. I do just about everything that we do. I do some parts of it. So I design ads. I do all that stuff. So yeah, I appreciate that, because that to me is an important piece that rarely gets noticed by a lot of young people. Let me real quickly, before I answer those last couple of questions, I do want to bring up the fact that, folks, we do have we do advertising, and let me get it down here. Ad where is it? Ads here. Let's get to the ads. Advertise, right? So folks, you scroll to the bottom of our website. If you scroll to the bottom of our website, you'll see there you got all these things at the bottom. You can go to advertise. And if you go to advertise, it'll take you to a section where you can learn about advertising with us and why you should advertise with us and so forth. But if you go to ads, you can see here there's the advertise page. But if you go to ads, we have a number of ads at the top that you can actually go to and learn which ads we have available. We do sell ads for our magazine. So folks, if you want to reach all of our subscribers, all of our fans, literally thousands of people around the world, if you want to be a part of that, then then buy an ad. Our ads start at $10. Then we have a community page where you can basically put like a little plug of an ad in there. It's just enough room for like a piece of art, and a little bit of text, and then we can hyperlink it to wherever you want it to go. Or we can do a full page ad, and full page ads go from $25 and up. But folks, do this, buy an ad. I mean, and I bring this up because, someone was saying, Bouchon was talking about, regular blog posts and stuff to keep up with. And my thing about that is that, folks, if you are going to, whether you're going to compete with us or not, if you're serious about a series, if you're serious about trying to create a work, then the way you have to do that is you have to be serious about getting the word out. And getting the word out, and I've seen this time and time again, there seem to be two ways to get the words out that people have. One way is to try to get us to publish it, right? Because they see the brand, they know we got a lot of fans, they know we got, white manga and various things. And so they're like, well, man, if I can get inside him, all my problems will be taken care of. And that's obviously just crazy. That's just, just insane talk. But beyond that, though, is the fact that if you're serious, then, let's say you're not in Saturday AM. Well, you can still be in Saturday AM. You can still be featured next to Apple Black, Clockstruck, all these different series. And you can have your ad, pointing people to where they need to go to learn more about you. It's reasonable. I mean, you'll spend, more money on other things. It comes with a free subscription. Right now, we're doing it where you get a free subscription. So if you buy an ad with us, you get a free subscription. So there's just so much stuff there, if you don't have one already, at least. So there's so much stuff there that that is worth checking out. That, again, I can't speak highly enough about it. And if you're a serious creator, you're serious about getting the word about your stuff, then buy, advertise your work. And look, I could, be nice and say, well, you can advertise anywhere. And that's true. You can, obviously, if you're serious about advertising, advertise wherever you can advertise. But, the flip side of this as well is that, folks, you don't have to advertise. I mean, if you're going to advertise with us, then again, you're getting a lot of things in there that just are not guaranteed elsewhere. So you're getting into a digital magazine, the high quality digital magazine with top creators. You're going to be seen by thousands of people. You're going to be seen by people who actually support financially creators like yourself. And, that rate's not changing. And the ad stays in there until we get someone who replaces you. So until someone else comes along and pays the money to replace you, your ad stays in the magazine. So, folks, it's, it'd be very silly not to do that. So definitely check it out. Definitely go forward with it. If you have any questions, drop us a note at info@saturday-am.com. Let's see. So we got a couple more questions here. I'm gonna leave it right here on the ads because, folks, you got to buy ads. Let's see here. Jerry says he's from the Pilot Manga days. if you feel like, what's your stance on pitching a story in the X meets X format? I don't see the originality in comparing your series to someone else's series. First of all, welcome back, man. If you were in Pilot Manga, so I've done some panels. We did Wizard World, and we went to various places. With Wizard World. We were in Portland, we were in Cleveland, and we were in Philadelphia. We'll be in Chicago at the end of the summer. And they had me on these panels that would talk specifically about pitching series. And I would typically be paired up with someone who was trying to think, it'd be people who were, one guy was a novel writer. One guy had worked in Hollywood. One guy had done video games. So, so we all had different backgrounds. And every time I would give the scenario about, how we do pitches, to a T, everyone jumped on board with it. Look, again, when I give advice, and even though I'm passionate about the advice I give, that's my advice. That doesn't mean that you got to go with that advice. So that's number one. But, I would just say to you that, I do very much agree with that format. I think X meets X is absolutely essential. I think it's brilliant, frankly. I mean, call me, crazy, but I think that's a brilliant way to do it, because the fact of the matter is, folks, at the end of the day is that, if you've got a pitch is all about trying to give someone a quick shot into what it is you're trying to do. And if you've ever tried to pitch a series before, if you were in Pilot Manga, that people, the idea that you're going to sit there and spend 30 minutes telling someone about a story is ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. And we see it, we see it online, we see it on Instagram, we see it on Facebook, we see it on YouTube, we see it everywhere. We get people like, they kind of, it's a production, because they try to fill you around a little bit, talk to you about various things. Then once they think they kind of gotten in with, then they start talking about, I got this idea, and it's not quite finished, but it's about this, and I don't want to bother you with it. But then they start telling you about everything about it, and 30 minutes later, you're hearing everything about how the character, his backstory is this, and at the end of the day, you don't care. You didn't care the first time. So again, the pitch session that we're big believers in, Batman meets Yu-Gi-Oh! Transformers meets Jurassic Park, or I'm sorry, not Transformers. Jurassic Park meets superheroes. When you compare it to stuff like that, you damn well better believe that if someone is going to be interested, they're going to be interested. And if they're not, they're not. But the minute you do that, whether or not they're going to be excited about the idea, deluding yourself into thinking that you've got 30 minutes, even 5 minutes, to try to tell them something that they didn't ask for and they're not particularly interested in. Remember this, folks. If they can't latch, these are we're real people. Everyone's a real person. I've got tons of things I'm thinking about all the time. Everything from keeping the company afloat to, if we're going to get this deal I'm working on, to getting the next issue out on time, to getting some edits on this thing, to getting the artists working on Clock Striker, to get the approve some scripts from Mass Multiplayer World of Ghosts, to working on Saturday PM stuff, to working on our next contest, to expanding Summer of Manga. I got a lot of stuff in my brain. I think the last time I did one of these chats, I talked about how we literally have a long time to go. We have a long time to go, right? We're focused on things. I'm developing things right now that won't hit until this time next year. That's my reality. And I'm not Marvel. I'm not Shueisha. We're small fry. But that's my reality for what I have to deal with every day I wake up. Not to mention, paying my light bill and paying my cell phone bill, this, that, and the other. Keeping the lights on with Saturday AM, all that stuff. So again, you can follow whatever method you want to do for pitches, but if you think that you've got 5 minutes for most of these people to try to tell them your story idea, unless you've really got this thing thought out and you've got it down to a T for how to tell them about your story concept in a very concise and comprehensive way that won't take very long, unless for a fact that's going to work. And even then, it's, I can tell you that's not guaranteed to work. It's just nothing works 100%. Then we think the method that we have is dead on the way to do it. If you can't compare it to two things, and again, it's not a perfect comparison, folks. It's not a perfect comparison. But if you can't take two ideas, smash them together, and say my idea is like that people can latch their brain around, if you can't do that, then that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. And folks, like I said before, there's no guarantee in this stuff. So I think one of the things people struggle with the pitch is that they're like, well, yeah, but if I go this route and then you don't like it, folks, there's no guarantee I'm going to like it anyway. And same thing for the guy who works at Universal, same thing for the guy that works at Sony Pictures, same thing from the guy that works at Nintendo, same thing from the guy that works at Marvel Comics. There's no guarantee who's going to like your stuff. So stop worrying about it. Just like we said earlier with the stuff about people who are like, hey, can I pitch you my other comic book idea? Or, hey, we got this comic idea, but, we're not sure. It's still got a lot of work to do. Can I talk about it? Like, no, you can't. I'm not, we're not ready to do that right now. But you can go forward and just get the idea out there and stop worrying about what we think about it. So, go the pitch route that we suggest, go your own pitch route. But at the end of the day, there's no perfect solution. You're guaranteed to have just as many people say, I'm not interested before you even finish on on a different sort of pitch methodology. Then you're going to have people who say, oh, I kind of like that idea if you use our pitch method. I mean, it's you expect to lose. You're going to lose quite a bit before you win. That's just the name of the game. Let's see here. So the last couple of questions, folks, because then I got to wrap up here. Like I said, I really got to get this issue done for Saturday PM AM number 88. Let's see. Vicinius says, I'll introduce you to him on Facebook. Maybe we can get some Saturday AM panels. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we had talked with him. Again, if it's the same guy, I was impressed with him. Yeah. Will Zero says it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So true. Vicinius says they would look to advertise with us. Great. Yeah, I hope everybody looks to advertise with us. Again, there are so many places you can go advertise, and we should do what was it called? Project Wonderful. We should do that, and we never saw anything out of that ever. First of all, I mean, they never had titles that fit our titles. Most of their titles were kind of, esoteric or strange or LGBT or LGBT exclusively. Not that we don't or wouldn't have LGBT content, but their stuff was like LGBT exclusively. So we're like, well, we're not exclusively LGBT. We have other stuff. So if you're hardcore LGBT, then you would not like what we do, even though we might have characters who are gay. And vice versa with adult stuff. Like we don't, just because you might have some killer artwork on this web page that they're trying to sell on Project Wonderful, but if we don't have content that features half-naked women all the time, then you're gonna maybe like to look at Apple Black, but you're not going to support us because we don't offer what you're into. So this is something though. If you're creating content like what we do, there are very few places you can go, surprisingly. And if you can go to them, then they're really expensive. Try advertising on IGN or Funimation or Anime News Network. Try advertising those places and see how much it costs you. Hell of a lot more than $10. Hell of a lot more than $25. Let's see here. Angel Lewis says, I'm really enjoying the podcast. Thanks. Thank you. I'm in the middle of episode 9 with the creator of Zero. There's a bit of audio inconsistency. Yeah, so we use, well, thank you for that. Yeah, there was some issues with that. There have been issues with a couple of episodes. And in fact, I'm actually sitting on 2 episodes I got to finish and get up. But we use an app called Anchor. So there are some things that it allows us to do, some things it does. It's a new app. We like it a lot because it makes it easier for us to get our podcast out. We're working on it, but we don't use a traditional method. So at this point, unless they change some of the features that they offer with Anchor, then there's really not much you would be able to do to help us, unfortunately, even though, trust me, I would gladly take it. So we're still working on some of those aspects, but we do expect to get more episodes out next couple of days, and White Manga episode coming very soon, which is going to be really interesting because we're talking about a whole lot of stuff. Angel Lewis says, I know you probably already mentioned it, but will there be a third wave of summer manga? There will be, yes. And yeah, we'll be talking about it more. When this video finishes, you can go back and watch the whole video. We talked about it very early on. Will Zero says, I made it to the chat a bit late. Didn't get a no for wave 2. Had a glitch while uploading. Maybe I pitch again for wave 3. Yeah, I mean, look, if again, so, I mean, I'll just go ahead and say it. So, look, we're extending wave 3, but we're not going to be doing it. We're going to be doing 2 things, and then we're going to be doing some different things. So the 2 things differently we're doing is that we are opening up to include Saturday PM, although the rules will change a little bit for Saturday PM. And we're only, we're going to have kind of a variety of things that you can submit. Now, it will change in terms of age ranges. We won't deal with 17 age range for Saturday PM. I still blows my mind as someone who's 16, 17, wants to do a Saturday PM title. Like, kid, you don't have any life on you to try to tell a mature story. That being said, look, the bigger thing that kind of impacts me with this, and stay, and really kind of gets under me a little bit is the fact that we're heading to a very, very significant fourth quarter for us, which is October through the end of the year, and because we have all this other stuff happening, we just simply cannot try to entertain a lot of stuff. So we're going to take at best 5 entries from the third wave, and if you're not bringing it artistically, because again, if it's Saturday PM related, I can tell you now, if your stuff is not at a very high level, that it's not even worth you submitting, because I'm not trying to say this to be funny, but it's like there's no point in wasting your time, because it's just not, that's not going to happen. Like, we won't even entertain that. And Saturday AM, again, is getting more and more tough because we have just amazing creators like Jay Oden and Blake Showers. So we're only going to take 5 entries, and so that's just the bottom line. So split between Saturday AM, Saturday PM. It might be all 5 for Saturday PM, or it might be 3 for Saturday PM and 2 for Saturday AM. So again, when we post the information about it, I would give it your all. Be very, very aggressive about it, but that's about it. Azuki Tachimaru says, can a manga artist join or add his or her own manga? I mean, again, like, we are not trying to be everything to everybody, meaning that we're not going to publish everybody. We couldn't do that. But I mean, like I've said this because, again, I do all these panels at these shows, and look, I mean, I said this before, I'll say it again. If an artist of white manga's caliber comes to us and they're focused and they have a really good story and they're prepared to kind of work under the guidelines that we have, then yeah, we work with them tomorrow. But we've turned down artists who are really good. I mean, again, this artist that I think did the downvote from Summer of Manga, who has been March Madness. Like, we really like this stuff. We thought this stuff was super. We thought this stuff was amazing, but his concept wasn't that great, and we just didn't believe in it. And so, that doesn't stop him. He can go and produce it. I think he is going to work on it elsewhere. But he kind of took it the wrong way, and kind of he's just been kind of moaning about stuff that we've said for whatever reason. But regardless, look, we'll turn down artists who are good. So the key thing here is that, again, we have these events like Summer of Manga, March Madness, that artists need to try to do. My other thing to this is that, and I have no shame in saying this, I think some people always are kind of like, oh, you shouldn't be saying like that, but I don't give a damn. I think it's totally worth to say it. If you're not subscribed to Saturday AM, I have a tough time understanding why we would ever admit you to Saturday AM, because again, what we do is very specific, and we've lasted this long. If you don't support what we do, then it's hard for me to understand why you would want to be in the magazine. I mean, it's not hard for me. I get why you want to be in the magazine. It's called marketing. Our marketing is really damn good. You look at that logo, you look at us, you look at our stuff, and you say, shit, I want to be next to those artists. But if you're not actively supporting us, I have a really difficult time understanding why we would ever look at that and go, oh yeah, well, let's talk to this person because they get it. You clearly don't get it if you don't do that. I mean, it's $5. Like, if you can't even be bothered with that, I have a tough time with that. Again, some people will be like, no, you can't say that. No, I can say that. I think it speaks a lot to someone's character if they're trying to join a group that they don't actually support. And then so Zuki, you continue to ask questions here. So I would say to you, we have a thing called Summer of Manga. You can go learn everything about trying to submit material to us. We'll be posting the rules soon for Summer of Manga. And then check it out. And if you've got content that fits that, if you're the right age that fits that, again, if you're 13, dude, stop right now. But if you if you're the right age and you got content that supports what we're trying to do, then when the next wave of Summer of Manga gets announced, then you are able to submit your stuff to it, and hopefully we'll like it. But again, I think the key thing is right. Okay. Well, you're 31, so you're the opposite of 13. But I would say that if you are, again, so I think there's two things here. Look, again, because I think your question then is kind of moving to a different direction, which your question is more so, and that's kind of what I was getting at with someone who's like white manga. if your question is, look, dude, I've already got a manga on another website, and it is, and I want to be with you guys. Like I said before, I get it. I understand why. And we brought Jay Oden from Hammer over, who was on, I think, Tapastic or something like that. You know, so so again, it's doable. It's possible. It's just not the way we choose to work. I mean, Jay is a very special case. He fits us perfectly. He matches our sensibilities, and so it works. But again, you know, if you got a comic on another website, if you know, if it's amazing, if it looks great, if the story is really good, if we think, hey, you know, this person's really good, and then if we feel like you, personality wise and professional, in terms of your professional candor, can operate within how we're set up, then yeah, then you know, then there's a chance. There's a chance. I can't say it's a good chance. I can't say it's a bad chance, but there's a chance. But the most secure way is to go through Summer of Manga and some events like that, present us an original story that shows you can tell a story, and a short story, and then, you know, let the chips fall where they may. So so that's all I got, folks. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for Pub Talk June 2018. We'll do another Pub Talk for 2018 for July. We have our new show called Pitch Sessions beginning next Saturday. We'll advise you, follow us on our social media, our blogs, and so forth. We'll advise you of when and where that is. What you're looking at here, folks, again, you can advertise with Saturday AM. The ads start at just $10. You get a free subscription. The ad is permanent until someone bumps you from that spot. So check out Saturday AM. It's right here, and you've got you see here these three images here: Hammer on the left, Saigami in the middle, and Zero on the far right. Those are the covers for our next 3 issues. Because remember, we take a break after every 5 issues of a month. So we have our PM issue number 2 comes out later as well. So you have a chance to see all of that stuff as time goes on. So I want to thank you guys for talking to us, and we really appreciate it. And we will be in touch very, very, very soon. And again, my name is Frederick Jones. I'm the founder and publisher of Saturday AM, the world's most diverse shonen manga anthology. And we look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Take care, folks.